What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania spoiler-free review. Now without any further delay, let's hop right into it, let's go. So this is the third installment in the Ant-Man series, and the film follows Scott Lang and his family as they venture through the quantum realm when they unknowingly unleash a grave threat, which sets up the future of the MCU. And that would be its next prime villain, like Thanos. And boy does this film demonstrate exactly what we can expect. And all I'm going to say is, if they weren't already, things are about to get crazy. While the Ant-Man series is a comedy, this film is by far the least funny. It still retains its comedic element, but it is toned down, which makes sense for the story it's setting up. And now perhaps that's also because his good old friend Luis isn't in this movie. The main guy that brought the humour in the first two films, he was, I wouldn't say he was the saving grace, but he was definitely the heart of those films. He was that one character everyone would look forward to seeing on the screen. So a little bit disappointed he wasn't in this, but the film still holds up. But what's interesting is that the Ant-Man series is effectively the reverse of the Thor series. So while Thor gets progressively more ridiculous, Ant-Man gets more serious. And I rate that because of his character's development. We get to see him go from an ex-con to essentially an Avenger in Endgame and helping save the universe. So if that is some great character development, then I do not know what is. But if that is the reason for the humour to be toned down, but still funny, I am all for it. The third act of this film was definitely the best, and that is mainly due to Kang. He was amazing and his backstory was superb. Now he was of course a variant of Kang and not the same one we saw at the end of Loki, but his performance was powerful and his presence was captivating, and you can definitely see without doubt just how big of a threat he is going to be. So while this film is funny, the film does not tarnish a single moment with Kang by adding unnecessary humour, which the MCU is very prone to doing. But considering that Kang is supposedly the next Thanos type figure, I am so glad they did not spoil any moment with him with just any stupidity. And of course, Kang wasn't the only good thing about the third act. We cannot forget to mention the action. And knowing the MCU, you can expect to go into this film and see great action. And this film, in terms of action, does not disappoint. It is up there. Especially when you see Ant-Man go from like miniature to bigature. Literally like tearing down buildings and stomping on armies, breaking ships with his hands. Yeah, that was epic. So there's a lot to take away from the third act of this film, hence why I say it was the best part. I can confidently say I enjoyed the on-screen performance of all the main entourage, particularly Cassie. She is a very fun and likeable character. It is easy as the audience to get behind her. That's primarily for her morals, as well as her kind of rebelliousness and her sense of humour. She's that kind of like cool, fun youth that brings a fresh vibe to a film, and I rated that. But I do have to say, some of the side characters did feel a bit unnecessary, uninteresting, heck, even maybe boring. It's like whenever you'd see them, they'd be like, yeah, cool. They're doing their thing, like, oh yeah, because you were there before, now you're doing this. Ah, okay, you're onto that now. But it's like every time you see them, you're like, okay, cool, can we please get back to Scott or like Kang or Hank or Cassie? And for me, not all of the humour landed. Now maybe that's just because I'm enjoying the more serious tone it's going for, but some of the humour really did work for me. But other times, it just didn't quite land. So let me know in the comments what you thought of the humour and whether you thought it worked, if it didn't work, if it felt forced, or if it was just wrong place, wrong time. Now personally, I've got to admit that for me, some points in the film, the storyline just felt a bit underwhelming. For a third installment in a trilogy, I would have expected a more coherent storyline that would wrap up his story arc, which in some ways he did, but the film felt very open-ended because it's obvious he's still going to be a part of the bigger picture. Now this film has some like insane moments with Kang which made it final film caliber, but it just felt underwhelming to be like what you could call the epic conclusion of a trilogy. It didn't have the sort of Return of the King vibe or the Dark Knight Rises vibe. So to wrap up, people, I'd say I enjoyed this film. I'd say it's a very fun film considering it is Ant-Man, but I wouldn't say it's a remarkable film considering it's in Phase 4. Phase 4 has been very hit and miss with some incredible titles like Black Panther Wakanda Forever or Spider-Man No Way Home. But then there's been less good titles like The Eternals or Thor Love and Thunder. I guess they all had good moments, but this phase hasn't been as sound as the phases before. Though all things considered, I would rate this film a solid 7 out of 10. It does deserve it. I'm not slandering this film. It is good, it is enjoyable. Kang is definitely the biggest takeaway from this film. He had just great screen time, some amazing scenes, a lot of backstory and what he's done, why he is the way he is. Some very intriguing stuff there. He is insanely powerful. If you've seen this film, you will know what I mean. I'm already gassed for the next Avengers film. I'm sure we all are in the same boat, looking forward to what's next, because believe me, things are looking like crazy. And that's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below whether you've seen this film, and if you have, let me know what you thought of it. And don't forget to smash the like button, hit the bell icon, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and until next time, people, safe.